week's episode with Ajawi Limited. Welcome to Behind the Brand JA. My name is Safi. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Well, I'm Andre Ajawi, Director of Ajawi Limited. Thank you for having me.
Would you rather be able to fly or have super speed?
Speed.
Would you use it in your job?
Yeah.
Okay. If you could change the national dish, what would you change it to and why?
Wow. Jackfruit.
Jackfruit? Just
Yeah.
so jackfruit?
I'm a fruits guy. So I like fruits.
So you would change the national dish to jackfruit. Okay. What's unique about your design company?
Well, the unique thing about us is that we're trying to help returning residents. Overall, we see ourselves as playing a part in building Jamaica's economy, one returning resident at a time. I have a lot of passion and faith in Jamaica. Simply because I see what we have and know that if we were to invest in ourselves, if we were to invest in Jamaica as a people, then I mean the sky's the limit. We're very small and we have such huge impact. So imagine if we invest that here. So my vision is to help returning residents to come back and actually invest within our economy, build those nice houses where you see on TV all the time, right? Build it right here in Jamaica and inspire the next generation. It's about generational wealth, passing it on to the next generation. Yeah.
And how old are you?
Well, my mother tell me say, I wasn't there. My mom tell me that I'm 35.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're a young person
Yep.
with a big vision.
Yeah.
That's something to be proud of. What is the moment that really sparked your interest in architecture?
Wow, I can't say there's any one moment, but I know that from a very young age I wanted to build a home for my mom. Yeah, because I saw where she lived and I always wanted to do something. Like in my head at that time I was thinking, okay, I'm going to build a house with a shop attached. And she's gonna have that with a restaurant and stuff like that. So from that age, that was about 14. Yeah, I went to visit her one summer, and I saw that she was struggling a little. So that was one of the reasons. When I started school, actually university, I didn't start in architecture. I started in engineering, but it was not me. So I would go to the class and I would be sitting there drawing. Like the lecturer is talking and I have no interest, right? Because to backtrack a little, I did go to VTDI to do drafting, which is in line with architecture. But then when I went to UTech now, to further that, I went into construction or engineering, and that was a disaster because I actually went to the coordinator and I was like, oh, this is not for me. I have no interest, because I would reach the gate at UTech and just say, you know what, I'm going home and just turn back.
Engine building, well done.
Yeah. But when it came to architecture, I'm at school like 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. We are up 2-3 days in a row, and I'm just in my element, and no matter what, I just always pull through. So that's just where my passion is. Yeah.
So when did you transfer?
It was actually when I went to the program coordinator in engineering and said to her, listen, I'm not interested in this. I'm more interested in architecture and design. And she actually saw me in a class and she realized that I was always sleeping or always drawing. And she said, okay, I'm going to write up for you to get transferred. And she just transferred me over to architecture.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
it wasn't a hard process at UTech?
Well, no, not really. It wasn't a hard process because, I mean, I thank God for that lecturer or that coordinator because I do know that getting into architecture school is hard. But because I already have my diploma and, you know, subjects and stuff like that, it was pretty much just transferring over. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Safia Bird Mears, and I'm the creator and executive producer of Behind the Brand, JA. But what you may not know is that I'm also a brand strategist with over 10 years of marketing experience. And at the end of each episode, I give each guest branding advice. So stay tuned.
I've always been trying things, you know, so from a very young age, you know, from being away from parents and not really wanting to bother people, you know, started to try things. So a lot of trial and error. I used to start little businesses, and I actually remember the first business was like selling, selling bag juice.
So was this in high school?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so in high school, the conversation was really, I didn't want to bother my aunt asking her for money, so I just saved up some lunch money, and even a little bit before that, like when we were in Arnett Gardens, I used to go to the stadium to sell. So yeah, so I used to sell like bag juice, what else? I wasn't supposed to be selling cigarettes at the time, but my parents asked me to go over there because I was the smaller one, so I was able to sneak underneath the stadium.
Right. So how old were you at this time?
Probably about, that was about year 8, 9, thereabout, yeah.
Coming up on Behind the Brand JA.
Born to a single mom, you know, father was not around. And I did leave my mom,
So you had said you grew up around architecture. What did you mean?
All right, so somebody in my house, they were renting and they were doing architecture. And he showed me a few programs, and I was just fooling around. But it actually looked like something. And then even in high school, you know, I was pretty proficient in, what do you call it, technical drawing, to the point where it started to become, boring to me. You know, them people, the way them hyperactive, but then when they express all of that, they kind of seem more depressed. Yeah, so that's pretty much what happened.
Okay, so you need things to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I'm always working, always learning, always. So it's more about learning for me. Somebody might say, you know, they see a design that I'm doing, or that one design is not really it. It's really the process of learning for me. So even if you see we're doing a design today, or I learned something today, it's not the same, because by tomorrow I'm off trying to learn something else.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know, I never really saw people as role models. I just saw me in the future, and I'm trying to
get there.
Yeah, so it's not really somebody external that I use.
So it was more self-motivation.
Yeah, because my mom actually, I think she kind of brainwashed me still. She always tell me that you can be anything that you want to be. So yeah.
Amazing. That's amazing. What is the first project you ever worked on?
First project, Palisades Shoreline Rehabilitation Project.
Wow.
Yeah, I was the lead drafting technician on that project.
How was it?
A lot of experience. You had a lot of responsibilities, and it was something new for me because most of the times I was really in an office. But after that, my first project, personally, like as a roast, right? It was for a guy over Portmore. Didn't actually pay me. Yeah, so I mean, it was a learning curve for me. So I wasn't necessarily discouraged by it, but I use it as an opportunity to learn. So one of my motto is, I never lose, I just learn.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that again.
I never lose, I just learn.
Hi, good morning.
I tell you that man say.
Nice, man. Your shoes nice.
Man say me I wear my shoes go on site. So we're doing a site investigation. So within our process, we tend to try and get information about the area, the properties that are located within the area, right? What are those properties? Are they residential or commercial or mixed use? Then we look at what's the condition of each site, right? What are the views, the pros, the cons, and we try to take advantage of that.
So what kind of angles are you getting right now?
So we're looking for really we use the coordinates, so north, south, east, west. So most of the times it's really 4 pictures we really need, right? But we have to take multiple of that just to make sure that we have enough information. What you're doing now is that you're going all around the site. Alright, again, yeah.
So how you feel about what you've seen so far?
So most of the information that we're collecting now is just raw data. So the reason why we're doing this is that we as human beings, we can't capture everything. Mm-hmm. So we use the drone to capture all the information here. And then once we're back inside, we can actually pick out information from the drone footage. So for example, if I'm here and say the site has a negative view, right? We're looking around, but I may not have seen a house that has a zinc fence, has a negative view, right? That would have been captured because she went all around the site, capturing all of the road, what is the road condition looking like, what is the slope of the side looking like, what's the orientation, what is the orientation of the site, and how does that best fit the actual design, complement the design. Based on the orientation, it is facing towards the south, which has a lot of sunlight throughout the day. I would need to use electricity to run my AC to bring down the temperature of the building. Because I now have glass, I'm now increasing the amount of heat that I have to deal with, rather than if it was a situation where I recognize that, okay, the property is facing the south, let me not put the glass facade on that side, let me put it towards the north.
How often do you do this?
Very often. Abby, you want me to land? You have to catch it. Alright, come.
Nice.
Well, I'm originally from St. Elizabeth. Grew up with, I left St. Elizabeth very early, but born to a single mom. Father was not around, and I did leave my mom, so I didn't really grow with my mom or dad. I was quote unquote adopted by my aunt. Yeah. And I pretty much grew in Kingston. So from year 7, I left St. Elizabeth to come to Kingston.
How was that change for you?
Yeah, that was not nice. just the transition was a bit difficult. For the first day, I remember I cried a lot. Yeah, so I cried until I got tired of crying, and from there on, kind of became self-reliant, really.
Did you come to Kingston for school?
Not necessarily. It was really about my mom wasn't in a position to, take care of a child at the time because I was firstborn, and she wasn't in a position to really raise a child. So
I understand.
She took the hard decision to really, I wouldn't say give me up, but that's really what it is. Yeah. But my dad wasn't really around or in the picture. But I came to Kingston, went to school. Actually, Arnett Gardens. Yeah. That's where I came originally. Then I left from there to Washington Gardens. So I grew up in Washington Gardens.
Okay.
Yeah. I went somewhere with a teacher once. It was Mr. Barnes, a teacher of mine. And somebody was saying that, we can't understand what is going on in the country and how most of the younger generation, they're not doing much. And I remember him holding my head and was like, look in my face and show the other guy and say, look at this face. This guy is going to be something.
Wow.
Yeah, so he was instrumental in all of that. So he was saying, this one is going to be somebody different.
Who is your dream person to design for?
My wife and I.
Ooh.
Yeah. I've always seen myself designing something really nice for myself and all that. But if I was to select somebody to design for, it's a bit interesting, but it's Agent Sasko though.
Ooh.
So he's doing development where he's creating like a farm system or an estate. Yeah, I'm a big fan of creating estates. So yeah, I see what he's doing and I like it. Mm-hmm.
What can we look out for with Ajawi Limited?
I'm working on being the best at what I do. You can look out for a game changer. You can look out for somebody that will someday become a household name. So once they hear of that brand, they know that they can say, hey, these guys are going to deliver on what they say. Right? Most of the times here, what we find is that, people may say things, but it's not, you can't really hold them to it sometimes. But we want to be that company or that brand where once we put our stamp of approval on it, you can stand behind it. Just look out for greatness.
Thank you so much.
You're most welcome.
Andre Ajawi of Ajawi Limited. Thank you so much for being on this episode of Behind the Brand JA. My advice to you is very simple. You are a husband and wife. People love a couple story. It makes people feel so connected and want to see both of you win. I know a lot of people are curious of how a husband and wife can work together, and it creates a beautiful dynamic. And it can also show that it might be challenging at times. People love to see the human side of businesses, the human side of brands, and that is an aspect of your life that you could showcase. Coming up on Season 2 of Behind the Brand JA, Shia Creatives. If you want me to go behind your brand, visit behindthebrandja.com.